Good afternoon, and welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to our Direwolf 20 1.10 modded Minecraft Let's Play series. So I want to start off by saying that I apologize. There was only, I believe, one video last week. For those of you that don't know, I know I've mentioned on the Discord and on YouTube discussion and some other things. Last week was extreme. Actually, the past couple weeks have been very, very hectic for me. For those of you that don't know, my mom is actually in China. She's doing some work there with schools and things, and she's been over there for a year now. And prior to that, basically whenever she first went over there, she was over there for a year, came back for like 2 weeks, just visiting basically, and then went back over there for another year, and so she just got back for another 2 weeks, and then she's got to go. She has to return back over there for another year. So, anyway, she was coming in and got to see her and everything. So, I do apologize that there was only... there's been a slight decrease in the number of videos, and that is the reason as to why that is. But anyways, we should be back on track this week. Of course, today there will be Direwolf, there will be Sky Factory, and there will be Stranded Forever, and then tomorrow there'll be Hermit Pack, as well as probably another Qantas video and whatnot. So anyways, today, of course, last episode we've been messing with Psy the last couple episodes, and then, like I said, today we're going to have to go to the end, because that is the only way that we're going to be able to get Ebony and Ivory. We have to go to the end. So I do have a little bit of stuff here, coal and nether quartz, that we're going to use. And we've got our greater infusion trick. So let's go ahead and just really, really quickly, let's whip up a quick greater infusion. So we'll go ahead. Once again, it's just the greater infusion trick in there. Let's go ahead and pull out move block. That's not really one that I care for, if I'm being honest with you. So we have our greater infusion spell. There we go. And if we were to select this, we can go ahead and level up. But of course, we didn't actually create any ebony or ivory. So I'm not going to worry about unlocking those right this second. Of course, today we're primarily going to be focusing on the Ender Dragon. So before we go out there, I want to get some kind of a ranged weapon, because of course that makes life so much easier. The Ender Dragon is no fun to fight with just a melee weapon, even with flight. Of course, you got to chase him down and all of that. Now, generally, I tend to go for Tinker's Constructs. If any of you have seen any of my other series, you know Tinker's Crossbow is my weapon of choice, or Shurikens, things like that, or the Draconic Evolution stuff. But today, since I don't generally get into it, we are going to be creating a Darkbow and empowering it a little bit, so that way we can kind of cover, how you empower stuff and whatnot. So, because that's not generally something that I jump into, and it's not, the empowered stuff from Ender.io is not bad. It is not bad at all. But I think the reason that I tend to bypass it, I believe, let's see, something, the skeletal contradictor, oh, it's rotten flesh and solarium. Okay, not bad. But I think the reason that I tend to skip it a lot of times is just because there's more powerful alternatives, and so I want to kind of mix it up, and let's do something that's not the same thing, that we cover every single series. So that's kind of, I can't spell today, that's kind of my plan. So hopefully you guys are okay with that. I do hope so. But anyways, first up, we are going to need one of these skeletal contractors, something like that. Skeletal contractor. Whoa, what's all this stuff? I hit shift there and it makes all the text come across. And it looks weird with all the, I don't even remember that being there. Unless maybe that's a 1.10 thing. I don't remember that from 1.7. I'm sure I shifted while I had a soul vial before. But anyways, let's go ahead and get our Darkbow. Oh, you know what? We need nutrient distillation sticks. In order to do this stuff, we're going to have to get ourselves a vat. That's fine. Honestly, the vat's something that I wanted to get into in the near future anyway, because I do want nutrient distillation. There is some really nice things that the Killer Joe can do that we'll get into in the future. But for now, let's go ahead and get all this stuff together. What is it? Electrical steel. I think I already have that automated. It's not elevator. So we'll go ahead and get that stuff crafting. And then in addition to actually make the nutrient distillation, what we're going to need is just a little bit of sugar. And then we can use a few different things. Let me check. I guess we'll use zombie heads because we have a lot of those actually. And realistically, we might as well go ahead and ferment a spider eye. Or a few spider eyes. Let's go ahead. We'll grab a few of those. Because they're double the strength of sugar. So we might as well. And we'll go ahead and snag our vat. Now, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with nutrient distillation, and for those of you that haven't noticed it, Ender.io did add additional things in 1.10. I think they're really trying to push the idea of nutrient distillation almost as an alternate power source in a sense. There is ways to actually generate RF power with it, but you know, in the past, Killer Joe was like the only thing other than the zombie head generators that ran off of nutrient distillation. But I have noticed there's a lot of things that nutrient distillation can actually use now, or can be used for. We'll end up doing a setup for the nutrient distillation at a later point. Actually, I need power for this, so let's just plug it up down here. I think should be fine. We'll plug it up temporarily just up to this conduit line. And once we finish up with Psi and everything, I think one thing that we will begin working on is... Oh, wow, that's like about done. One thing that we will begin working on, I think, is doing a lot of fluid infrastructure, because that's what this whole building is dedicated to, is fluid. And I would like to have things like water and stuff just on hand. So it's just part of the AE system or something. I believe AE2 has fluid control. I believe it's not AE2, but it's well, we do have the P2P tunnels, which if not, we could do it with that. But okay, so this doesn't. I believe it's AE2 stuff. There's two different AE2 expansions that I'm thinking of, and one of them adds fluid control. I can't remember off the top of my head, but anyways, if we have water in here and then we throw in a zombie head and some fermented spider eyes, there's additional ways to make it. There we go. Okay, it takes 4 buckets of water to get it going. But anyways, it's going to start kind of making these bubbling sounds. Some smoke's going to come out, and you'll see that this stuff is starting to change colors from blue to this really dingy, nasty, like sewage green is what it turns into. So, yeah, that's pretty much what we're waiting for. And we'll let that run. Let me grab 2 buckets of this nutrient distillation. And now we can make our distillation, or our, what is it, nutritious sticks, I think is what it's called. Basically what it does, it just takes sticks and nutrient distillation buckets. That's going to get us these nutritious, delicious sticks made out of dirty, dingy sewage water. And so now we can get ourselves our Darkbow, which is great. Most of the dark steel stuff, of course, requires dark steel, but the Darkbow is one of those exceptions. Now, in addition, you'll notice that it says Anvil Upgrades Empowered. It's Vibrant Crystal plus 4 levels. And what we can do is attach a Vibrant Crystal to this, and that'll give us our Empowered Darkbow, which basically allows it to run off of RF. So that's something that we definitely want. You'll notice that Empowered 2 requires a basic capacitor, and then Empowered 3 requires a double layer, and then there's a Power 4 which requires an octatic. So we're going to go ahead and go for all of that, because it just requires capacitors, which we can make all of those. So that's not a big issue at all. Double layer, and there we go. There's our Vibrant Crystal. And then, of course, in addition, we're going to want some arrows and different things. So let's go ahead and grab those. And we could go ahead and get the Enchanter. Get into a little bit into enchanting. We might do that. Let's see how many levels that I have after we do this bow. So basically the way this works is you'll put your bow in here and you'll add your vibrant crystal or whatever, and you'll notice that it allows us to empower it. And for the next tier we're going to need 6 levels. I probably should have put up those 2, but I'll usually put up levels, you know, if it's something that's actually expensive-ish. It's 8 levels. But for something like 6 levels, I mean, you can get 6 levels so easy. I don't min-max a lot of times. You'll notice. There's our tier 3, and then I'm pretty sure the last one is 10 levels. I lied. It's 12 levels. Let's go ahead and grab that. And there we go. So we now have a Darkbow with Empowered 4, which basically what that's going to do is it's going to allow 85% of the damage that the weapon would take to be absorbed by the power. So very, very handy. In addition, we're going to need to charge this. So let's pop on over and we'll get this charged up. You'll notice that it has 1 million RF storage. That's great. There we go. And then let's go ahead on back up here. And oddly enough, I've never made the Enchanter, from what I can tell. So we're just going to need a book. That's fine. There's that. And to actually use the Enchanter, you're going to need a book and quill. So let's go ahead and snag maybe one more book. Keep in mind that your rice can create paper. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. But let's go ahead and get ourselves a couple more of these, actually. I think maybe like 3 should do it. And what you can do is, if you set down the Enchanter, click right up here, you can see the recipes. And so basically what I want is I want bow enchants. I'm not so concerned about soulbound, but things like infinity would be nice. This requires 17 levels, an ender pearl, and some lapis. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and just snag our experience obelisk and our anvil, and we're just going to take it over there with us for now. I was thinking that we had an enchanter over here. Didn't we? Or am I crazy? I could have swore we did. And watch, I probably did have one. I probably moved it somewhere. Like, oh, I'm working over here right now, so let's set this up temporarily. And then probably next time I need one, I'll make another one. But what was it? Ender pearl and lapis. We might as well go ahead and just grab a bunch of lapis. I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple stacks here. Because in specifics, there's 2 enchantments I would really like to have on this. So first up, let's go ahead and grab ourselves a bit of flint. It's going to take nearly a stack of this. And what I want is, if we throw that in there, in our book, we're going to need 33 levels for this. It's a little bit expensive, but it's going to give us power 5. Wonderful. Very, very good. Power 5 makes a huge difference on the damage of a bow. So, next up, let's do lapis and ender pearl and our book in 17 levels. And that's going to give us infinity, which of course requires no arrows to fire. Well, you have to have one in your inventory, but then it doesn't consume those arrows. Then the last thing that we're going to want requires an experience rod. And how many levels is it? 21. And so our experience rod in there, 21 levels, it's going to give us mending, which of course is a vanilla enchant that allows tools to be repaired using XP. So very, very nice. So we'll throw our Darkbow in there, and let's first give it power 5. It's going to take us 5 levels. And then to add infinity, that's 5 additional levels. Mending is going to be another 5 levels. And honestly, we have the XP. We could do another enchant probably. So I guess we're going to add flame to this, because why not, right? So we're going to need 17 levels for that, and then our bow should be sorted. And it's going to cost 9 levels to add this enchant. And there we go. Now we have a bow with power 5, infinity, mending, and flame. Now you could also add things like unbreaking or punch if that's, you know, your style. I am fine with this bow. I'm very, very happy with it. So that's what I'm going to roll with. Now the last thing that we're going to need is, of course, do we have a ender compass by chance? Okay, I don't see any way, aside from the standard good old-fashioned vanilla way, so I don't really need 64 of these, but whatever. We got plenty of ender pearls. And so we are going to find ourselves our end fortress. So give me a bit. I'm going to do a bit of flying around here, and I'm going to go locate it really, really quick. Alright, I've had some intense luck, and our stronghold is at the bottom of a deep, deep ocean. So, give me a bit here, and I'm going to sort this out. Now, granted, I could go back and make a underwater breathing potion, or, there's a lot of options that you can do to handle underwater, but we have flight, and so we can actually travel through water very, very quickly, and we can just do something like that. It does the trick. So I am happy with it. And here we go. We've found the stronghold. So, actually didn't take too long at all. Hello, friend. Seems the smell of the sewers is taking a liking to you. For those of you that have never played Baldur's Gate, that's what that's from. So, hey, look at all that. That was a quick discovery. Now, of course, we could fly around in here and grab some items, but I don't know that it's really all that important for us. Because a lot of strongholds tend to generate very brokenly. And so oftentimes I don't even bother. I will have a quick peek. Yeah, there's a lot of dead ends through there, so we're just going to push on. Generally, like if you're playing vanilla, of course, strongholds, you're like, oh yeah, I found a stronghold, let's get some loot. But in modded, stuff's generally so easy to come by that you're just like, whatever. So anyway, let's go ahead and get our end portal activated. We may end up moving this to the base. I don't know. We'll see. It would be nice to have it right there at home. Alright, achievement unlocked, the end. And of course now, I don't believe that we have endstone for our ender lilies. So we could, of course, add endstone to those and make them grow a little bit quicker. It also gives us an added chance to get additional... What is this? Oh, celestial crystals from Biomes of Plenty. Okay. Ah! This has an awesome zoom on it, by the way. Pa-pow! Pa-pow! Oh, yeah, there's the cages, too. I almost forgot about those. That actually hurt him. I was about to say, I think I'm getting like a little bit of lag or something right there. Alright. Go ahead and knock these cages out. Pa-pow! And, by the way, Draconic Evolution, of course, there is no dragon resurrecting anymore. That is because, of course, Vanilla added the ability to resurrect dragons on its own, so... Ah! How about you? Oh, this is almost too easy. Think about if I'd brought a Tinker's weapon with us. Oops. I'm a terrible shot. I'm a terrible shot. What's this? What is this thing that he is doing here? This must be like some other kind of attack. Actually... Oh, that was loud. Really, I should have brought bottles with me, because when he's doing that, you can get Dragon's Breath. It's a vanilla mechanic. But I didn't. I apologize. But we can resurrect him, of course, so I'm not as concerned about it. Hey, buddy. There we go. And he is dead. Stop it. Stop it. I want this dragon heart and all this draconium. There we go. So we got a shader grab bag. And all this wonderful draconium. Did we ever... Okay, we did get the dragon heart. Alright, I'm happy. And if only I had some glass on me, we would get ourselves some Ender Air bottles, but maybe that stuff doesn't despawn. Or something. I don't know. It's just like stuck there. Chances are it's probably going to bug on us, and our XP, we're going to lose it, I imagine. Let's go ahead and do that. Do I not have any torches on me? I'll tell you what, there is these torches. They're beast. These torches. And probably the easiest way to get the dragon's egg, what I tend to do. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Dig right down here below it, throw a torch down, and do it like that. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, did you bring a?" I know when we killed the dragon the other day on Qantas, somebody was like, "Did you guys bring a piston to get the dragon egg?" And it's like, you can get it with just a torch off the thing. And of course you can also do it with a sword and everything as well. And I just realized that I'm smart. I forgot to actually make a spell for the ebony and ivory. I apologize. So, trick ebony and ivory basically just infuses, you know, for ebony and ivory. I got to the end, you know, after we killed the dragon, I was like, oh, well, let's do this. And I was like, wait, this isn't working. Cool me, right? So anyways, let's go ahead. Let's switch. We don't really need this debug spell, so go ahead and get rid of that. And now we can do it. While we have that other stuff selected, let's go ahead and do like a half stack of diamonds. Since we've got our greater infusion ready. And we'll just infuse those, and that gets us these side gems. And then our ebony and ivory, let's go do that really, really quick. So anyways, what we can do is we can throw down our nether quartz, our coal, that kind of stuff. Select our ebony and ivory. And just go ahead and change those over. That's going to give us ebony substance and ivory substance. And then let's head on back. And then what we can do is we can just take our metal ingots, surround them with the ebony substance, and create our ebony metal ingots. Okay, I was about to say that's a visual bug. I don't think, yeah, there's no other use for the ebony substance. And I believe ivory is the same way. I think it's just for making the ingots. Well, you can make the block and the CAD with ivory. Or not, I'm looking for the substance. Okay, yeah, it's just ingots. I was like, wait, that's not right. You don't make the CAD out of substance. But anyways, that's how you get those things. Now, in addition, you know, we're going to be able to make some new CAD and whatnot. But we'll do that next episode because I do believe that it's just about wrapping up point for this episode. But next episode, we'll get back into Psi for a bit. And do, of course, some of the more advanced things. You know, we're fairly close to being done with Psi as far as unlocking things. And then we can focus on, you know, actually getting into some spells and stuff that are custom made for our use and whatnot. So, anyways, if you guys enjoyed the episode, as always, be sure and hit that like button. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already for more daily videos. And, yeah. Next time we'll get into Psi a bit more. So I hope you guys join me for that. And until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.